got wiped out a little too prematurely. And they might have been able to perhaps fight a little bit back, but this was the game of numbers at the end of the day as well. So unfortunate for them, Vagabonds Esports are going to continue dominating all the way through. This is the third match of the day as we hop into Isolated. It'll be the final Isolated game we see at the Grand Finals.
Yeah, and for those who are only doing well in Isolated, well, hopefully they do well this time because, as AJ mentioned, the final Isolated match in the Grand Finals, and we will be heading to Blackout later on, and a lot of teams has greater advantage there compared to most of the teams in here in Isolated. But drop points, as we usually talk about it, we still have 4 Kings in there, New Vision City. This time, like for the first round, it worked for them. For the second round, not really so much. So hopefully it will. They will be able to get good rotations, and the RNG gods will give other teams as well those advantage to meet up later on a little bit to like early before the third, fourth phase of the round. Because once everyone is in there, like say 12 teams, 10 teams by the fourth phase of the safe zone, it will just be a killing spree for those who have the high ground advantage or any other advantage positioning wise as well as mechanical skills wise to get all those slays, AJ.
Let's see what they can make out of this. AXP Kratos. Hot drop against HGE. Clyde takes down the Butcher. 4-3-2 with the standard process. I want to see them take down more players. More of those squads out there on the battlefield. But I don't know if 4-3-2 is ready for that sort of action in the competition just yet. How appreciative they would be if, you know, taking down the Butcher gave you a couple of kill points or something, man. They'll be one of the best teams out there on the battlefield.
I mean, previously, on a previous competition, though, you've seen the gonna Butcher usually pulls in. It's like an airdrop at some point. It pulls in other teams knowing that, oh, a team is in there. NRX 432 is in there. Let's fly in through and take them out. Even if they have the Butcher, we have good mechanical skills, and that's where engagement happening.
Yeah.
But this time, none of that is happening. Like none of the teams really steps into the farm anymore, apart from NRX 432, and it is now left to rotation that they have to take, and probably hoping that not only not 2 teams will be in that rotation. And if that is the case, then NRX 432 could have given us a better show if in case it's early engagement that they want to show this time. But so far from the performance that we've seen from NRX 432, it's a lot more tweaking that needs to happen, AJ.
Oh, smart play by Ninja, quickly sliding off the top of the roof here just so that he doesn't get taken down, but the damage has already been done. The first strike by Kratos to take down one player, but Matoy is traded out by Maui from across Elm. The LMG just kind of doing a lot of damage there. Trevor making his way across. This is getting a little scrappy. Both teams try to spot each other out. Maui's looking the wrong way. He's looking at his own team member instead of trying to focus on find the rest of the players out there on the battlefield from the side of AXP Kratos. Ninja right in front. Maui, opportunity. And he spots Ninja right in front. Ninja with the slide. But Maui helped out by the one and only Elves. And Ninja gets struck down. Fantastic recovery here by HGE.
And here goes Maui right now with his spray. And when we thought that hit for the PKM will not be damaging, it's more of the damage that they can put into as well as the communication in there for the follow-up. And speaking of follow-up, Trevor in there cut on exit will be taken down, and one team will be out of the game. It's only in the name of Crayons that will be traded in here, and a good advantage of Vitality to take in this game.
Yeah, but they cannot pause, they cannot slow down, they just need to continue forging on forward, flanking from the left and right side. The probability of catching out all of these players now from the side of HG, the 11 Kratos is now so much higher. Smoke bomb popped out, premature smoke bomb, I have to say. Vitality CL is making a small mistake with that attack. Vagabond Snowmatch drops by to farm a couple of kills as well, and this is just deep into the compound of Vitality, allowing HG to get away. Vitality bites the dust as Vagabond Snowmatch eat them alive.
Vitality right now only shy in there being sighted, and the question was planning here. A lot of shots right now coming from Pogs. So not quite sure if it's only from our visuals or from the teams, but there you go. I think it has been fixed already. But Virus, on the other hand, just running in towards the door, taking down Shy at this point. But we're still left with 15 teams. So I think a few more Paul will still be alive and trying to hide out. But with how can Vagabonds and Nomads know them that they are here? Probably it's because the last known location of this team. And footsteps as well, gunshots that has been fired earlier on. Smokes will help them with the visibility in this fight, AJ.
Let's see what can happen now as all of these players try to circle around. Travis finds Paul. Nomads ate them all up alive. And nothing else here for Vitality CL to pull away from. They wanted to take advantage, but they got taken advantage of.
And AXP, we didn't see AXP Raiders in this fight, so they were able to get away. And for those who are trying their best to catch up, they were the ones caught off guard. So we had no visibility as to where AXP Creators went to, but from the number of kills that the Vagabonds and Nomads had, it's only 4 points. So that only means they only eliminated one squad from that fight, AJ.
One, and that's enough for the time being. Riley Esports, on the other hand, across to inside of the vehicle. What's hops on in as well. I love it when the team members just knock you with a car, but you're able to just hop on inside very quickly. Assassin, though, who Jackals takes down the chopper at the very same time. A thing of beauty. I'm glad we saw that on screen.
It's rare, and we see that on screen, and that is one thing that we really love to see. The highlights of the game, taking on Jackal at this point. You know, AJ, it's very difficult to explode the Jackal, but we'll have to find out how well the other teams can do that as well. We've seen this before, but how will this end? That is a question, because from the previous round, though there is a opportunity for Vagabonds, Nomads, and Almighty to take down either one, that has been left cold out there waiting, AJ.
Let's see, Kimmy, as Dre and Sacred unfortunately lose their lives prematurely out there in the battlefield. Vehicle explodes. Nomads in that slow approach as AXP Eternal. I mean, this team has really been popping off, haven't they, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, I think they understand the rotations of the team, especially for the 2 days already of the finals. They know the rotation of the team as well, and with the firepower that they can get from this arsenal they have, then they will be able to fight back. As you can see, a little bit of exchange out there of the weapons as well as the mods to get them a little bit more, because this is what they're aiming for. This is what they want right now. A lot of slays, regardless of what placement they get, at least they were able to get the points from the kills, AJ.
So far 2 kills, but the kind of location that they're holding on to now, nobody else to punish around the vicinity. Nomads, I believe, just beyond this compound. And AXP just have to be really careful with this engagement. 4 Kings, on the other hand, big fight against NRX 420. Pabi trying to fight back, but the roof taken up by Nagy. Nagy tries to recover a little bit of his armor. Nobody else taking advantage. Zeus has one player drop right in front of him, but they recover. They back away. 4 Kings versus 420. Who's going to be able to get out of this engagement without losing a lot of their honor? Instinct shut down Pabi. Zeus eaten up as well. Raygun responds, but Zeus gets traded out. Pabi the only one bleeding now. Blink and Raygun have an opportunity to recover. It's a 3v2 as Blink goes down as well. The AK-47 from Pride as frightening as always. Raygun with the backstab, but everybody else catches him out. Get out of there, Raygun, if you know exactly what's good for you. But the 4 Kings already on the way to shut him down. They are on the hunt, as you can see right behind him. They're all on here for the play, but a smart disengagement by Raygun as he pops those smokes. And 4 Kings allow NRX 420 to live another second.
And I think the reason for that is because we pointed out so many times that when they stay outside of the safe zone, caught off guard, and they're trying to catch up onto the next phase, then they will be backstab or probably gatekeep. And I think it's only a few seconds remaining. Thus, the decision is quite good for the Ford Kings. But the opportunity to get that kill and eliminate the NRX 420 is also prime. And also like to the location, the positioning of Ford Kings. Though some of the teams of Ford Kings fell off from that roof, one remains in there, and Instinct is the one who just sprayed out against those unsuspecting members with a smoke, and MSMC just take down two of the members from that fight.
Rogue, unfortunately, eliminates himself from the equation outside of the circle. Viper, on the other hand, trying to take advantage of the Conquerors. Sekre, Desync, knows exactly where he's getting away to, and will move in for the fight. The chase is on. He maneuvers around just to cut off the approach of Sekre towards this next compound. And Desync, he hits that rewind. Sekre still is going to be found. I don't know how is Desync doing this, but he will get to the Jackal first before Sekre. And he's anticipating Sekre to make that approach. Quickly reloads as well, just in case. And takes it up into the air. This is the Jackal, FHJ. And he loses the Jackal.
Well, it's a smart move from him to reload first, because most of the time, if you're not that well in control of a Jackal, you will jump up against the enemy. And if you don't have that reloaded, you will just go bang and you're dead.
Let's see what does Nomads have in store for us. 4 kills already out there on the battlefield, and now XP Eternals in front of them. I think this might be a good engagement between Nomads and Eternals. They seem to be fighting on equal grounds with the way they're playing at the moment. But that's not an engagement Nomads will end up in. Mystic will be lucky if the Nomads does not spot them out. Kill, on the other hand, taken down. And the Vita squad, one by one, they engage with the 4 Kings, but Negi and Fright, they return fire. Vita's in a lot of trouble.
And Vita's right now is in here firing back. Ha ha ha, will be laughing off with that Jack. And Instinct right now is down for the count. But the opportunity for Negi right now in here from the other side. M4 in hand, vehicle to get those dog tags into play as Fright goes in for the chase. A quick rewind right now to get away. And as we mentioned earlier, they need not to make the same mistake for this fight to stay outside of the safe zone that long. But with Negi out, dog tag taken, it might take a while before the rest of the teams will be scanned. But the rewind is here to the rescue. Hopefully he'll be able to make it to MJ.
Nash, Merc taken out. Circle is the first one to knock Merc down onto the ground, and then Nash, of course, finishes him off outside of the circle. Not something that Nash will have to worry about too much because of how low the damage is when you are outside of the circle. This is just the 3rd one, so by the time Nash gets back in, he should be more than okay to take on yet another engagement. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Nobody else is in front of Vagabonds Esports. And the luck will continue for this squad. 3 kills in here so far. They want to grab so much more, but they need to find someone out there first. 1 Jackal above them out there in the air for the shots, but Vagabond Snowman's not going to be tickled by that at all. Conquerors, on the other hand, they have to be really careful because Almighty Prime might be able to do a number on them.
Yeah, Almighty Prime right now already in the high ground. It's a prime location for them. And there goes the shots from the other side. It is AXP Eternals. And we know AXP Eternals, once they spot an enemy, they will try to get the slays and the kills for them. And with 5 already, it's not so much. They need to get more. They're hungry to get for those kills. And they were beaten to it. It was Cookie from the other side of the map. Takes down a chase, and I think the approach of AXP will be cut short because they have seen a different team trying to challenge this team that they want to get into. And Cookie from the other side still making that chase with that crosshair. Quasi will be caught off guard, taken out of this game, but it is Pogs who finish off Dre in there from this fight.
Good play. Let's see them circle around Cookie. This is Abed Rodzina. This guy has been quite phenomenal with his performance, but you can't shoot a rock, Cookie. You gotta look for a player instead. Tries to spot out all of the areas, but Not so sure exactly why he was trying to aim at that rock. As the players now move on ahead. This is going to be a problem. Sees the airdrop there.
That was one reason, AJ.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're out in there in the open, there's not much loot that you have. That's one possible reason, because this is where most of the takedowns happen, and you can get the loot out in there. With the M4 as well as M21 EBR, I don't think there's the firepower that AR Cookie is asking for. Thus, he might be looking for a different gun to use, or probably a lot of loot to arm him up, because a lot of engagement is required for Armand Rosina to get higher into leaderboards. But with against the Four Kings Aces in terms of points, not so much, so they can get it probably from this round.
Riley Kataro, beautiful spots as he burns the one and only burn. Armand Rosina Cookie, big fight coming through. Riley Esports spotted up in his crosshair already. HGD 11 taking on that fight, but Maui loses his life. Crayon returns fire. And we see it all through the crosshairs of Cookie, who's trying to take advantage, but no shots released out just yet. Finally engages Kotaro. One more shot, Cookie. Perfection. Gets Kotaro down onto the ground. And Cookie should be able to play this to perfection now. One grenade out of nowhere takes him out of the equation. Brawl and Watts trying to play this game of survival. But Armand and Rosina has them cornered already. Watts returning fire. Cookie doing the exact same thing as well. And now it is up to HGD 11 Kratos to finish off the players of Riley Esports with a well-placed backstab. Ainra down on the ground. But Armand and Rosina are the ones who we should be watching now. And a nade out of nowhere.
Yeah, and we have Watch right now, probably to thank for that, but Cookie right now still trying to take shots against Watts. And, well, I really like to get the attachment that he has on that M21 EBR, because as we mentioned, that M21 EBR not providing a lot of damage in long distance, but this time it only takes a few shots from Cookie. Well, accuracy per se, I might not be able to do that, but at least I have a fighting chance if I have that attachment, AJ.
Yeah, and you know, let me see exactly how they're going to be pulling this off. Because end of the fourth circle, as it approaches, pushing us into the fifth, there are just way too many teams still alive and kicking out there. In fact, 50% still alive out, but in just 12 teams. The rest of those dog tags can be retrieved. Big fight. Vagabonds Nomads, Vagabonds Esports, both spotting out each other. Cluster will push Yato and Nash back just a little bit, but Yato, as he brings forth the aggression in here, Nomads should be able to take this, but Esir shuts down Blue out in the open. That engagement finally happens, and once again, Nomads should be able to conquer their big brothers. It's all about how they approach this fight now. Travis is praying and praying, but there's nobody in front of you, Travis. Get up on that hill and fire back at the players of Vagabond Esports. This is the Nomads now, taking full advantage of this circle. Just praying and praying all the way through. I don't know what Travis is doing.
I think a trigger might have been stuck in there. The button might have been stuck because of all the pressure, because of all the heat that they're getting in here on this fight. Travis right now, and it's one thing, probably those markers, you know, from the mods and pickups that can be done. It might look like a trap for them, so try to shoot them down. That is like one thing that they can think of.
I'm surprised Vagabonds Esports actually peeled away from that engagement instead of just going ham against their little brothers. At the very least, for a little bit of revenge for that previous engagement. But Joko is dead, gets taken down by Kimish. It's going to be Cookie as well. Everybody's going in after Nomads. Finally, Riley Esports notices that they are in the exact same compound. Starts firing at them. What's taken out? Good retaliation by Esir. Vagabonds Nomads engaging with Riley. Viper, on the other hand, trying to shut down NRX 432. Keys very smartly manages to duck behind a boulder, but a nade being charged up. Clyde, as well as Keys, needs to get away. Keys is super low on that HP, manages to slide away at the very perfect time. And now that smoke will help them just recover a little bit as it forces the players to back away ever so slowly. Esir as well as Fox together, both of them now try to take out Riley Esports from this equation, but those shots not really connecting with this mid-range attack. A little bit different from what we've been seeing out of Nomads for the past days. Oh, wow. And wow.
What a flick in there. Oh my goodness. Pogs in there like First, he was shooting with teammates, and then later on, flicks in there, taking on round. And I think a little bit of damage has been done as well by SR. And we'll have to see how much more they can this dynamic duo do, because so far for a complete squad, 16 kills already has been gathered. Now, Pogs as the hacker have a visibility on how many teams are in here, but I don't think it can fit all 15 soldiers in here, or let's say 11 soldiers in that small monitor that they have as a hacker.
Yeah, here comes Pogs. I mean, he already hacked the game earlier on, so he needs to wait for that refresh. So the timing can't be worse for Pogs. Behind the tower, Shu sitting down on top. ABC Mystic trying to play the game of survival. Good on them. ENE ever so slowly approaching this final circle. And Vagabond's Nomad's right in front of them. Good cluster played by Assassin. Can he find anyone? Doesn't tag up a single player at all. Esser, he slowly trails away. Vagabond's esports no longer surviving in this final circle, but Nyx finds Assassin, puts him out of his misery. Armin and Rodzina taking on ENE, and Vagabond's Nomad sitting out of all of these fights. They just want the final battle, final victory, 10 points from placement.
And here we go. We have Armin, Rosino, KKPG going in for the battle outside as they spot Vitality as well as ENE. But the jump on by ABC was able to give it a little bit of distraction. But as we see AJ, Armin Rosina in here, not just getting kills, but as well as getting wins in this final match, the final game in Isolated for today, AJ.
Finally, Armin and Rosina steps up to the plate, grabs a solid victory for themselves, and that's exactly what we like seeing for the competition, right? Some of the other teams stepping up to the plate as well to show us that they can dominate the grand finals, even though just a little bit, because so far it's just been an all-out Nomads, Vagabonds Esports, and AMT Prime showing at the grand finals. We want to see a little bit more from the other teams. We understand that it's a lot to ask for, but at the end of the day, as long as they can continue fighting for the top spot, moments like these are going to be possible for some of the other brands, even though the #1 spot is just a little bit too far, Neptune.
And it's one thing that we usually act for the teams. Even if you're not in there gunning for the top spot, at least bring yourselves in a good way that you engage well as well, survive well in the battle. Give them, I would say, probably not #1 spot as a legacy or the championship as a legacy, but a legacy of not giving up. And I think Armin Rosina, as not giving up from this engagement, was able to show up in here slowly